everybody, welcome back. I haven't done a books you must read in, I don't know, it's been a long time. And I think today is the perfect time to bring this series back because I just finished the best book I've read all year. So this is the book right here, All Our Ways Are Water, Jaimal Yogis. Give you a little history about my relationship with Jaimal. I actually didn't know him in person at all until he was just on my podcast recently. But I knew a bit about him because I read his first book about 8 years ago, Saltwater Buddha. I read it 8 years ago. When I read Saltwater Buddha 8 years ago, I read it as a surfer, and I loved it. It was a great book. At the time, it was one of my favorites. And you know, strictly as a surfer, I read this book and just got a lot of insights out of it, and you just it was a fun ride. And it wasn't until recently that one of my mentors had suggested I dust the old copy off and I reread it. And this time I read Saltwater Buddha as not only a surfer, but I read it as a meditator as well. Talk about amazing insights and putting those two together and discovering something completely brand new out of that book. It was stunningly beautiful. I looked up Jaimal, was learning about what he's up to now after Saltwater Buddha, and discovered that he's coming out with a brand new book. I was stoked and completely pumped about it. And so I contacted Jaimal, and I had just started my podcast. He's the first guest on my podcast. And I said, I'd love to have you on. I'd love to talk about Saltwater Buddha. He goes, I'm writing a new book. I'll send you an advanced copy. So I was lucky enough to get an advanced copy of this book. And I spent many days down at the beach reading this book, really getting a lot out of it. So this basically takes off. All Our Ways Are Water is Jaimal's quest towards stumbling towards enlightenment and the perfect ride. And this was just the perfect book for me in my journey right now in life to read. You know, in my meditation journey, how much I've been growing in that. And, I've really frankly never been surfing more than I have been now. It's been 5 years since I've even surfed this much. So it's just such a perfect book. And the perfect sequel to Saltwater Buddha. And it was beautifully written. And, it's such an adventure. It's such an adventure here because we go all the way from Israel to Bali to Mexico to New York to Tibet to San Francisco. All these amazing exotic places. And we go on this very personal quest, not only to find an epic tube ride. If you're a surfer, the ultimate zen is being in the tube and just being there, one with nature. There's a certain magic about it. But Jaimal makes the allegory of enlightenment, how it's comparable to a tube ride. So it's a very personal journey on a quest towards enlightenment and just a fun romp in surfing. So it's a lot of surface level stuff. It's a lot of really deep stuff as well, which I love. There's a lot of meaning here, and I can't wait to revisit this again. So whether you're a surfer or not, if you're a surfer, you're going to dig it, I guarantee. So if you're of the mind of growing spiritually, and on a search for meaning in your life, I'd highly recommend All Our Ways Are Water. I'm going to leave a link to the description down below. You can go buy it off Amazon. Say hi to Jaimal. He's on the first edition, as I said, of my podcast, Living the Dream. I'll leave a link down there so you can listen to that. Jaimal's such a cool guy. Give the book a read. Take it to the beach. Enjoy it. And I would love to hear how it's helping your journey towards enlightenment and helping to grow your own spirituality. All the best. Be good. Be awesome. Be great. Onwards and upwards.